Your commencement speaker today is Jennifer Hahn, Western Washington University class of 1984, Environmental Science, Social Assessment and Policy, and class of 2000, Interdisciplinary Concentration. Jennifer Hahn is an author, scientist, teacher, culinary explorer, and wilderness guide. She has long made her living by sharing her love of outdoors. She's written 2 books on wild edibles. She teaches courses in sustainable wild food harvesting at Fairhaven College of Interdisciplinary Studies and North Cascades Institute. But these days, she's spending more time studying pollution contamination in edible seaweed. For nearly 30 years, Jennifer has led sea kayaking trips in Washington, Alaska, British Columbia, and Mexico. While doing so, she weaves in cultural and natural history lessons for all ages. She spent months alone in a kayak paddling the Inside Passage from Ketchikan, Alaska, back to Bellingham, a total of 750 miles over 2 trips in 1992 and 1995. Spending time alone in nature helps people figure out what's important, Jennifer says. In her words, the noise of your to-do list gets replaced by the ever-present now. Jennifer is now working on her 3rd Western degree, a Master of Arts in Environmental Studies from Huxley College of the Environment. She's doing so with funding from the CDOC Society and Western's Border Policy Research Institute. She's studying pollution, contamination, and Salish Sea seaweeds, a source of food for Coast Salish tribes for thousands of years. She'll present her research at the Salish Sea Ecosystem Conference next month in Vancouver, British Columbia. Jennifer's advice for new graduates: share what you have become passionate about. Please join me in welcoming a distinguished graduate and friend of Western Washington University, Jennifer Hahn.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, trustees, faculty, graduates, family, friends, all of you seated here and here in our hearts. What an honor it is to be with you today at the threshold of a new adventure. I'd like to talk to you about one of the secrets to a happy life. As winter turns to spring, I imagine you graduates are ready to spring out of the rich loam of university life and make new tracks and trails. For 2, 3, or 4 or more years, you've spent a lot of time indoors. I know the feeling. I'm a graduate student and I've logged a lot of hours plugged into the library wall, trying not to look out the windows too much. We are like good dogs, sitting and staying, yearning to go outside. Now, there's nothing wrong inherently with sitting and staying or being stuck inside to get things done. The discipline you mustered and the choices you made to sit and stay your course are half the secret to a successful and happy life. I'd like to tell you a story about the other half of the secret to a successful and happy life, at least as I see it. Move around, outdoors, in natural places. Learn to see. Here's a bit of my story about learning to see. In 1978, after the thrilling news I'd been accepted to Western's Huxley College, I rode a Greyhound bus from the cornfields of Wisconsin to the Cascade Mountains. I did not know the name of one tree in the Evergreen State, but I'd found paradise. Come spring quarter, I signed up for a biology class entitled Northwest Plants. On a field trip up Seaholm Hill Arboretum, I tripped over the first native flower on our species list. Apparently, it was in the aster family, but it looked like a common dandelion to me. I thought I'd be scolded for stomping the specimen, but instead, Dr. Ron Taylor, a gentle botanist, said, "Look, students, this plant's top side is green and its underside is woolly white. You can track a deer by following the overturned white leaves. Its common name is Pathfinder. How cool, Pathfinder. The next spring, hoping to learn about birds and words, my path led me to a Fairhaven College course, Nature Writing with Michael Burnett. For the grand finale, I camped alone over spring break on Susha Island. My first morning, I woke to a haunting song spiraling up through dim treetops. I couldn't see the bird, but I grabbed my journal and wrote a phonetic description of the song. Tsootsie, tsootswee, tsootswee, ee. Fast forward 16 years. My personal paradise has expanded to include Alaska's Kootznoowoo Wilderness. The indigenous Tlingit translation is Fortress of the Bears. July 1994, I am floating in my sea kayak in Pybus Bay, flanked by tall trees and snow-patched mountains. 100 yards ahead, 2 eagles stab at a salmon carcass on a gravel bar. I am watching a bear through binoculars who is watching a pool in the river. The bear plunges into the stream, salmon splash in all directions, and the swimmer emerges on the opposite bank, shaking its fur coat that hangs loose as if it is one size too large. Clamped in its muzzle is a pale-bellied salmon. It disappears into the forest. July 2001. I am floating in a sea kayak in Pybus Bay. My summer Alaska job is wilderness guide. It's to live outside and translate what I see, hear, smell, taste, touch. I see a hungry bear, 500-pound Alaska coastal brown bear, chomping on sedges, grasses, angelica roots, and up to 200,000 berries a day, yet it gains only 1 pound in 24 hours. Everything changes when salmon pour into the rivers to spawn. Bears binge on up to 90 pounds of fish a day, and they can slap on a whopping 3 to 6 pounds of fat in 24 hours. By fall, a 750 to 1,000-pound bear can paw out a den under Sitka spruce the size of a clawfoot bathtub. And if the bear is a mom, its fat layer will roll the dice if the embryo will develop or not. If all goes well, right now, in March, 2 cubs nurse on mother's milk, rich as Ben and Jerry's vanilla ice cream, in a den where mama, still half asleep in hibernation, is dreaming of salmon. And what about those salmon? Before returning to the Kootznoowoo Wilderness, they shimmered in a grand circle in the North Pacific, gulping up red krill that paints their flesh pink. So their name, pink salmon. And each arm-length fish is plump with protein, marbled with omega-3 fats, and packed with ocean nitrogen, a potent type found only in the deep blue sea. One pink salmon, dragged into the forest by a bear or a mink, contains 65 grams of nitrogen. And this perfect fertilizer helps trees near salmon streams grow 3 times faster, and bushes produce more berries and leaves to feed the soil, the insects, and next year's salmon fry. These are the unwritten codes of agreements between the bears, salmon, forest, and people. It takes a village of species to make a vibrant community 10,000 years old. In fall, I fly home to Bellingham. Every morning, I pop a 1,000 milligram caplet of salmon oil. When I have the chance, I order cedar plank roasted salmon at restaurants. When I take my first delicious bite, I remember the Fortress of the Bears. So what does this story have to do with college and graduation and going out into the world beyond the university? Learning, and learning to see lasts a lifetime. Here are 7 graduation gifts I hope you open again and again your whole and amazing life. 1, go outside. Every day, learn to see, and you will find health, happiness, wonder, and community. 2, invest in field guides. The first year, discover 20 trees or 20 birds in your region. Next year, say hello to 20 flowers or 20 insects. How about 20 rivers, 20 lakes? Go unplugged. Move at a walking pace so your senses soak up details written in dirt, rocks, trees, lichens, stars. I would say go without a screen, but now I realize to take a screen is important if you take a shot of something you don't recognize and bring it home to open up the world. 4, join a group that shares secrets on how to see the natural world, a native plant society, mushroom club, a course in animal tracking. 5, go to a party, a salmon habitat restoration work party, a trail building party, a land trust weed pulling party. You know the kind I'm talking about. 6, talk with many things, eagles and wind, wood violets and ferns, thrushes and otters. By broadening your idea of companions, you will discover you don't experience solitude as much as multitude. 7, when you return home from a natural setting, the bad news in the newspaper or the internet won't be the only news in your world. You will have made your own good news. As for me, I'm still learning to see. A few weeks ago, I rediscovered an old journal titled Susha Island Solo Camping Trip. On the first page, a bird song written in a phonetic form read, Swainson's thrush, my favorite bird song. The Coast Salish Lummi people call it the salmonberry bird. They say it sings the salmonberries to ripeness. Move around, outdoors, in natural places. Learn to see, to listen, your whole life long. Thank you, graduates and friends.
Thank you, Jennifer. Beautifully done. Thank you, Jennifer, for those beautiful words.